Have you ever met somebody that seems to win at everything they do? You're winning at life in general. They're winning at sports, winning in relationships, winning at school, winning on the job, even winning family game night playing Monopoly. You just ask yourself, how in the world are they winning at everything? I'm about to spill the beans and give you 3 secrets that they're using to win at life in general. Right. So, fam, before I dive in and give you these 3 secrets, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, help our channel grow out. I really do appreciate it. We've been growing nicely over the past few weeks. So shout out to the new followers. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. And even if you guys are not enjoying this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button anyways, right? Just support your boy. All right. So let's dive in. Let me hit record on my tablet. Remember, I'm taking notes. I'm putting notes up, and this is for you all. So I ask you guys, do the same thing. Have a journal. Take notes, right? Let's develop. Let's grow together. All right. So we're going to call this 3 keys to winning, right? There's just winning, period. All right. Let's dive right in. So the first huge secret to winning at things in general in life is you have got to learn the rules. And more specifically, learn the rules of the game you're playing. I dare say this is one of the biggest reasons why people struggle and that things aren't going the way and you're failing, you're struggling. Like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do it. You can't do it because you don't know the rules. You don't know the rules to the game you are playing. That's the problem. You know, they say like there's a stat, 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. Why do they fail? It's not because these people are horrible and stink and can't get the job done. It's because they don't know the rules of business. They don't understand how things work, right? I think about when I started coaching basketball for my kids. So my oldest kid, he was on a basketball team. I'm talking, he was like 5, 6 years old or something. He just put him on a little in the church league just to get him out there playing some sports. He was on a team and they were all right, but I was concerned. I was like, if he ends up liking basketball, he's going to need to have a great foundational understanding. So, let me coach him. So I brought him over here. I started coaching the little church league just to make sure the kids I was coaching had a great foundation in the sport and really understood stuff, the rules, etc. And, first year we were like kind of okay. Second year, we just blew everybody out. And then we just dominated the league for the rest of the years. We had to start playing up and all that jazz because we were just dominating and blowing teams out. And I remember other coaches and people, parents, they'd be talking about us and they get back to us through the grapevine and they'd say, oh, that team's cheat, that team cheats, that team cheats. We never cheated. What we did was learn the rules allowed in the league better than everybody else. We learned the rules. So what does that mean? That means we got the rule manual. We actually read the manual over and over. We read it. We knew what was allowed, what wasn't allowed at this age, and we read it. I can't say I could tell you to you verbatim, but we knew those rules better than any other coach in that league, right? And there was something we weren't sure about. We went to the directors of the league and we asked them, okay, is this allowed? What can we do this? How can we do it? And we got really specific and we taught it to our players at the highest level that they could get it at that age, right? So when the game started, we're just slaughtering everybody like, oh, they're doing the cheating. That's not allowed. Like, no, that is allowed. We read the rules. We read the rules, right? So that's the first thing is you have to know the rules. You have to know the rules. And here's the thing. There's 2 types of rules, right? They're written rules. So these are the rules and instructions that everybody has. Written rules. And then you have the unwritten rules, right? Unwritten rules. And the crazy thing about it is most people don't even take the time to learn the written rules. It's there. It's given to you. Everybody has access to it. Most people don't even take the time to do that. And if you would just take the time and say, okay, before I dive in, let me go through the rules and know what I'm doing, right? Know the game. I have a lot of pre-meds that we mentor, try to help them get into the field of medicine. And I always tell them, you have to know the rules of this game. You need to go read to see, okay, what classes you're going to have to take, what tests are you going to have to take, right? How do you apply to schools? How many schools? All this stuff is out there. You need to know what you're doing before you get to that level, much before you get to that level, so you can prepare for it. So learn the rules early. And the unwritten rules, this is huge. We always talk about the hidden curriculum in life. That's what I'm talking about here, right? These unwritten rules are the hidden curriculum, right? It's a hidden curriculum, ... Don't want to write all that out. But look, the written rules will make you good. The unwritten rules will make you potentially, this isn't everything, but potentially great, right? So first step is you have to know the rules of the game. I'm reminded there's a movie called 21, right? It's a movie about a bunch of MIT students and they get into this counting cards And so it's gambling. They get into this idea of, okay, let's start gambling. It starts off in your little local area. Then you start going out to Vegas and gambling. And here's the deal: a lot of people out there, you go to Vegas, just gambling, just playing blackjack, just luck, whatever. But these individuals study the rules of the game so well, and they're MIT students. They were brilliant that they didn't just go out there and play based on luck. They went out there and they played based on the rules and probability and odds and won millions. Won millions. Why is that? Because they took the time to learn the rules in detail and to apply those rules. That's the same thing for no matter what it is you're doing, right? If you're trying to get promoted on the job, okay, what are the rules? Learn the written rules, of course, codes of conduct, all that type of jazz. But then start learning these unwritten rules. You have to know the game that you are playing. Most people fail at things you're chasing after because they do not know the rules of the game they are playing. What are the rules? You guys know I was going to get down my Bible verse. I've got one pulled up here, and I really like this. This is extremely fitting. This comes from Hosea 4:6. Hosea 4:6. And a simple verse, straight to the point here. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Are you being destroyed? Are you failing? Are you not being as successful as you would like for lack of knowledge because you're not taking the time to learn the rules, to study, to figure out what you need to know so you can be wise and apply that knowledge, therefore wisdom? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Rule number one, simple. Learn the rules of the game. Have knowledge for what you're supposed to be doing. All right. And you might say, oh, Dr. Dale, that sounds simple. I'm going to ask you, really take a second and really think about it. Do you know the rules of all the games you're playing? All the stuff you're doing. When I say games, I'm talking about your job. I'm talking about parenting. I'm talking about husband-wife relationship, right? I'm talking about whatever. Every different sector in life that you are working to be successful at, have you taken the time to study what it takes to be successful at that? One of my son's best friends, and we were out after school just shooting around yesterday. And, I just talked to these kids. I was trying to build them up. And I said, I called the kid's name out. I said, hey, what are you doing to become great at whatever it is you want to be great at in life? And then one of the things he said, I said, what do you want to be great at? He said, I want to be a great parent. Okay. I said, that's phenomenal. What are you doing to become a great parent? I'm listening to what my dad's saying and watching what my dad does and parenting and doing, just really going. And it was just so awesome watching this kid talking about these. I could tell he hadn't never thought about it, but he was processing it right then and there. But it's that exact thing right there, right? Here you have a 13-year-old kid saying, he's actually 12, I think, right? Saying, I want to be a great parent, and I'm starting to learn the rules right now, right? And then I said, okay, what do you want to do for your job? And we went down that route. But learn the rules for whatever game it is, right? Parenting, being a great child, being a great sibling, whatever. Learn the rules of the game, right? So that's number one. Okay. The second thing that people who win all the time in life, the second thing these people are doing is doing this. They're building an A+ team. They're building an A+ team around them. Building an A+ team around them. You know what I get all the time? Because I do a lot of stuff, man. Obviously I got companies. I'm a full-time physician. I got 3 kids. Wife. I do a lot of stuff. I coach a lot of stuff. People say, Dr. Dale, how in the world do you do all that stuff? How are you here, there? How are you putting out all this content? How are you writing books? I got 13 books. How are you writing books? How do you run this company team? How do you do all this stuff? And it makes it seem like, oh, Dr. Dale's so phenomenal. He's great. He's everywhere. I'm not everywhere. I can only be in one place at a time like you, right? I can only focus on one thing at a time like you. The difference between somebody like me and a lot of other folks is I have taken the time to work on building an A+ team, right? And my team's always working on making it better, okay? But building an A+ team. So Dr. How are you doing this? Hey, I didn't do it. That's how. I wasn't the one who did it, right? My team members did it, right? It might have been my brother. It might have been Trisha, my executive assistant. It might have been, right? A lot of the stuff that seems like I'm doing, I'm not actually doing it. And even if I am doing it, I've likely been prepared to do it by somebody else, right? I've likely been prepared to do it by somebody else. It's building an A+ team around you. It's hard. And here's what you have to understand. There's again parts to this, right? So there's one part that everybody always thinks about. I'll call this part A, right? Which is the execution. People say, Dr. how do you do everything? Okay, so executing is one part. So yeah, you see me on stage when I do public speaking. You see me on stage killing it, crushing it, right? But what you don't see is the part B, which is preparation. So the prep. And this goes for everything in life. I always think sometimes people say, people talk about, yeah, but what about individual sports? What about sports like, singles tennis or golf? These are individual sports for the most part. There's no such thing as an individual sport. Listen to me clearly. There is no such thing as individual sport. When you guys are thinking about individual sport, oh, he did it by himself, she did it by himself. No, they didn't. The execution might be individual. Boxing, oh, that's Mike Tyson out there. Even still, look in the corner. He's got a team. Somebody's giving him water. Somebody's putting the Vaseline on, right? And all that jazz. He's got a team around him still. Even though it's a quote unquote individual sport, there is a team that helps you prepare. There's no such thing as an individual sport. No such thing as an individual job. No such thing as individual parenting, right? At any level, for somebody to be successful at something in life, you have to have a team around you. So people that win, I'm gonna put equals, but that requires a team. That requires a team, right? That's what people forget. Oh, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do this all by myself. No, you're not. No, you're not. One of the greatest basketball players of all times, LeBron James. The man wanted to win. I know I say LeBron James. I know what most of y'all thinking about. Oh, LeBron left Cleveland and he went to Miami. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his off-court team. The man wanted to win a business. Look at his off-court team. He's got these guys who've been down with him for a long time. He's got Maverick. He's got Rich Paul. He's got all these folks who are locked in. He went out. He identified these people, said, okay, he's going to be good. He's going to be good. I'm seeing great characteristics of them. I need them around me. I want him around me, right? Oh, no, that person's not good. Cut. You got to go, right? Building an A-plus team so you all bring each other up together, right? Winners build teams around them to get to where they want to go. All right. You already know I got a Bible verse for you guys because that's what I believe in. That's what I do. Proverbs 13:20 says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. What's that simply saying? It's saying keep the people around you at the level that you want to go to, right? If you want to be wise, walk with the wise. They're going to make you smarter. I was talking to my middle boy. Well, it's my younger boy, my middle child. I was talking to him a couple of days ago about grades and stuff like that. I was saying, hey, son, like who you hanging with at school? The kids at school you're hanging with, are they making good grades? Right? The kids at school you're hanging with, are they making good decisions? Are they being distracted? Are they focused? Are they locked in? Asking them all these questions just to get them thinking. Because I remember when I was a kid, my parents were managing us. They were managing our friends. Right, my parents saying, nope, I don't want you hanging with this person. All right, they can't stay the night anymore. Da-da-da-da, just going back and forth. They were managing this, right? So I'm bringing the same stuff to my kid. And I said, it doesn't mean if somebody's not making good grades, doesn't mean you can't be friends with them, but you need to be that person that lifts them up, right? Be that person that lifts them up. Your team, the people around you, needs to be functioning at the level that you want to be at or the level that you want to go to. All right. And the third thing, remember talking about 3 keys to winning, is one that you just can't escape. You just cannot escape development. You have to take the time to develop. You've got to take the time to develop. There's a stat that I saw recently, and it says 70% of people that win the lotto go broke in 5 years. 70% of people that win the lotto go broke in 5 years. Why is that? That's because they've been given something without developing. They were given something and they did not take the time to develop. What do I mean by that? To give them, hey, you won the lottery, here's $10 million. But they never developed the knowledge, the wisdom to know how to manage that $10 million. I tell people all the time, I say, you don't become a millionaire when you have $1 million. A millionaire is a mindset, is who you are, is do you know how to manage that $1 million, right? And you could have $10 million and be like, I'm a million, but then it's all gone. As opposed to you could be a millionaire and have $1, and in 5 years you're gonna have 10 million. Right? I know it sounds funny. I know it's not exact. I get it, but understand the spirit of what I'm trying to tell you. Understand the point of what I'm trying to tell you. Right? In order to have something and maintain it at a high level, you have to develop to get there. If I give you $10 million and you lose that $10 million because you never took the time to learn money, to learn investing, right? To learn all that type of stuff, cash flow, interest, all that jazz, you're going to lose that $10 million pretty doggone quick, right? So that's key to understand. And look, simply put, There is no way around this. Well, I mean, the only way around this is, you know, trusting somebody who could do it for you, right? Depending on what it is you're doing. That's the only way around it. But there's simply no way around it, right? I think about Kobe Bryant. He came in the NBA, superstar in high school. He came in the NBA. And, you know, people forget. People just think about Kobe like, oh, Kobe was a star his whole entire career. Not so, not the case. Kobe, he came in off the bench, right? He was a bench player. They had Eddie Jones on the Lakers team back when he got drafted. Eddie Jones was a guy. Kobe was coming off the bench. But he had the mindset of, I want to win at this thing. I'm going to develop. You know, they talk about Kobe's famous 3 a.m. workouts, waking up in the morning and working out, going home, eating, sleep, go back to the gym, workout, spend, spend all that time he needed to develop. There's no way around that. No way around that. I see a lot of kids in the sports world and like, oh yeah, I'm going to be this guy. I'm going to be so good. I'm so good. And I'm watching other kids year by year pass them up, get better, because they're not taking the time to develop, right? They want it to be handed to them. Don't let that be you in life. And for parents, I'm gonna tell you, don't just hand your kids something, right? Let them earn it. Let them develop. If not, because if you hand it to them, they're just gonna lose it anyways. They're gonna lose it anyways, right? But give them the opportunity to earn it, the opportunity to develop and get into that state, what I call the millionaire state, right? Let them become millionaires before you give them $1,000,000. That's the way to say it. Let them become millionaires before you give them $1,000,000. So what do I mean by that? Develop them into the mindset, the skill set, the knowledge, the wisdom, all the things they need to be able to manage that $1,000,000. Then when they get the $1,000,000, you wouldn't have to give it to them anymore. They'll be able to earn it themselves. But if you give somebody $1,000,000 and they haven't developed, the money's gone. That money is gone. Right. And my Bible verse for you all today on this one is Luke 2:52. I was reading this and I was a little bit perplexed, perplexed by this one. And just for the simple fact that, sometimes in the Bible, there are certain things that I just don't know everything. I don't pretend to be a Bible scholar. I just tried my best to learn. But Luke 2:52. So this is the time where Jesus, um, his parents took him to the Passover in Jerusalem, and they're coming back. And Mary and Joseph, they couldn't find them. And 3 days later, they find him in the temple in Jerusalem. And he's like, "Where were you at?" He's like, "Didn't you know I'd be in my father's house?" And he's learning and things of that sort. And Luke 2:52 says this, and Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and with people. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature. That's the part I'm thinking about. Jesus increased, right? That by itself is a thing that kind of got me perplexed. Jesus increased, right? God incarnate, he increases. How crazy is it to think that even Jesus Christ developed and grew and got better? So if Jesus can develop, grow, get better, why can't you? Why can't we? Shouldn't we be chasing that with everything we have? Right. You have to develop. So, I mean, look, you've learned the rules. That's great. You built a team to help you with everything, right? But now you have to take the time to develop. You can't just think it's going to get handed to me, right? You have to, and that's what I tell people, right? You have to perfect your craft. Perfect your craft. That is huge. Again, mentoring people in healthcare. People tell me, "Oh, doctor, I want to do this. I want to do that. How you do it?" And they start trying to get like young doctors or young students. They start trying to do a million different things. I tell them, "Hey, before you do that, I want to hear people saying, she's a great doctor. He's a great doctor. Perfect the craft, the main craft. Is they keep the main thing, the main thing. That's the main thing, right? Perfect that. Then you be in position to expand. Then you have the credibility, the authority to do these other things, right? So whatever craft it is you want to do, perfect that. Take the time to develop in it. And then because of that, more opportunities. I'll give you an example for me. So obviously I'm a doctor. I was doing this medicine thing, and I believe I'd say that I got to a point where I might not be the best in the world, but pretty doggone good at what I do, and I got some awards and stuff to that effect, right, over the years, and that allowed me to branch out. That really did. Still doing medicine, still working on having that craft perfected, taking care of human life, but that really allowed me to branch out. That opened up other doors. That gave me other angles that really just expanded my world and just created crazy opportunities, right? But it all started from taking the time to develop myself in that skill, right? You might be a computer programmer, but doggone it, become the best one that there is. Take the time to develop at it. You might be a teacher. Well, take the time to develop at that, right? And honestly, here's a big part. I didn't make this a bullet point, but understanding purpose, having a purpose every day you wake up and go to work, having a purpose that will give you the energy, the passion to keep on developing, because developing is hard. The discipline to develop is difficult. To wake up every day, to go do whatever you got to do, studying or whatever you have to do to become excellent in your craft, that discipline is difficult. But if you wake up with a purpose every day, that purpose is going to be what drives you, what gives you that motivation, what allows you to keep on going to perfect that craft. Once that craft is perfected, once you've developed to that level, guess what happens? You start to see the wins. And you've been winning all along. Here's the crazy thing about it. We're talking about how to win. People always think that winning is the end goal. It's not. I was going to write this, but I'm going to write one more thing even better. Winning is a process. Winning is the journey. Winning is the journey, enjoying the journey, getting better, developing throughout that process. That is winning. Winning is not just the end goal. Winning is the journey. And that's the mistake that a lot of people have. One last thing, I was talking, my son brought this up yesterday. He was a couple of days ago. He was like, Daddy, a lot of people always say, my friends like, oh, you missed my party. You didn't come to our parties. You didn't come to this and that. Right. And they're saying, you're missing out. You're missing out. You're missing out. He's like, I'm not missing out. It's like, I love what I'm doing. I'm enjoying this. He's always training. He's like, I love training. I love doing this. He's like, it's not that he doesn't want to go to those things, but he's like, I understand what I'm doing. I love it. And most things, he doesn't even tell me about these things. It's not like people think like, oh, you always have your kid working. Like, no, we don't. He's all like, the stuff that my oldest does for training, that's him. Like, he wants to do that and we help him say, if you're going to do it, sure, I got you. But a lot of stuff that he misses, I don't even know about. He wouldn't even tell because he's so locked in and so focused. But what he's come to realize and understand that most people don't understand, not even kids, adults, is that the victory is in the journey. The victory is in the journey. The enjoyment is in the journey. The win is in the journey. 3 secrets to win anything. Number 1, learn the rules of the game. Important. Take the time to do it. Number 2, build you an A+ team. Important. Take the time to do it. And number 3, you can't skip the process of development. Can't skip the process of development. All right, fam. Hope you got your notes, man. Hope you locked in. Hope you take this and apply it to your lives. Big favor, hit that subscribe button, right? Help the channel grow. Really do appreciate y'all. I'm going to keep on doing my best to bring you some high-level content to motivate you, to inspire you, and to give you just practical strategies and steps to get better at life. I want you to know that I am praying for you. And I'm not just saying that really, right? I pray for the viewers. I do pray that this helps you. I'm praying for you. I love you, and you have permission to be great.